It started as a meme, a joke, a stock that no one believed in, from a company selling video games in shopping malls. But what began as internet humor would turn into one of the most explosive financial rebellions in modern history. In a single week, the world watched as a ragtag group of small-time traders on Reddit took on the titans of Wall Street and almost won. Billions of dollars shifted overnight. Hedge funds collapsed. Apps crashed. And the very foundation of the stock market was questioned. This is the story of GameStop the day the internet tried to rewrite the rules of money. To understand the chaos, we have to go back to the beginning. GameStop was once a household name, a place where millions of kids lined up for midnight releases, where video games came in boxers, and nostalgia came with every receipt. But by the late 2010s, everything changed. Digital downloads took over. Online shopping killed brick-and-mortar stores, and GameStop's profits fell off a cliff. Wall Street smelled blood. Hedge funds saw GameStop as the perfect short a dying business in a dying industry. They bet billions that the stock would fall even further. And for years, they were right. GameStop's stock sank to under $3. Its future looked doomed. But deep in the corners of the internet, one man disagreed. His name was Keith Gill. Online, he went by Roaring Kitty. And on Reddit, DPEF, ****, ing value. By day, he worked in finance. By night, he was a hobby investor with a webcam and a dream. In 2019, he began posting something strange. Charts and screenshots showing that GameStop wasn't as hopeless as everyone thought. He believed the company had potential that the new console cycle and loyal fan base gave it real value. But that wasn't he. The main reason he invested, what he discovered was something far more shocking. GameStop wasn't just heavily shorted, it was asterisk over. Hedge funds had borrowed and sold more shares than even existed. In other words, they bet so heavily against GameStop that if the stock ever rose, they'd be forced to buy it back at any price. That's called a short. Squeezing its financial dynamite. On Reddit, in a small community called WallStreetBets, Roaring Kitty's posts started getting attention. At first, people laughed. GameStop was a joke, a relic. But the more they looked, the more they realized he might be right. Hedge funds were overexposed. The system was rigged against the small investor, and for once, they had a chance to fight back. So, they did what the internet does best. They turned it into a movement. Memes, live streams, TikToks, battle cries of diamond hands. Into the moon. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about sending a message that the little guy could take on Wall Street and win. January 2021. GameStop's stock starts climbing. $10. $20, $50. At first, hedge funds ignored it. They thought it was noise, a temporary internet fad. But then it kept rising. The higher it went, the more short sellers were forced to buy back shares to cover their losses. The buying pushed the price even higher, creating a feedback loop of chaos. By January 27, 2021, GameStop hit $483 per share. A company worth less than $1 billion was suddenly worth over $30 billion. A revolution was unfolding. Live on Reddit threads, Discord servers, and Twitter feeds. Ordinary people made millions overnight. Others lost everything trying to catch the wave. The internet had weaponized collective belief, and Wall Street was in panic mode. As GameStop soared, the hedge funds that had shorted it faced catastrophic losses. Melvin Capital, one of the largest, lost over $6 billion in just weeks. They had to be bailed out by Citadel and Point72, two giant Wall Street firms. The establishment was bleeding end. They weren't about to let it continue. Then came January 28, 2021, the day everything stopped. The trading app, Robinhood, the platform millions of small investors use, suddenly halted trading on GameStop and other meme stocks. Users could sell, but they couldn't buy. The price crashed instantly. Billions in value vanished, and outrage erupted. The people who thought they were fighting Wall Street now believed they'd been betrayed by the very platform that promised to democratize finance. Was this market protection or manipulation? That question still echoes today. After the crash, chaos followed. Congress launched hearings. Keith Gill, the quiet investor who started it all, was called to testify. He told lawmakers, "I'm not a cat. I just like the stock." It became an internet legend a moment when absurdity met reality in the halls of power. Meanwhile, hedge funds and trading apps blamed each other. Robinhood claimed it restricted trading because of clearinghouse collateral requirements. They simply didn't have enough cash to handle the surge in orders. Critics didn't buy it. They accused Robinhood of protecting Wall Street, not Main Street. The truth, as always, was somewhere in between. For a few glorious days, the world saw the power of collective action. But when the dust settled, many small investors were left with heavy losses. GameStop's price eventually crashed back to earth from $483 to under $100. 10 to 40. Hedge funds licked their wounds. Robinhood faced lawsuits, and regulators promised reforms that never truly came. But something had changed forever. A new generation had entered the stock market not out of trust, but out of defiance. Before GameStop, Wall Street ruled the markets with algorithms and billion-dollar funds. After GameStop, the retail trader became a force to be reckoned with. Apps like Robinhood and Webull brought millions of first-time investors into the market. TikTok turned financial speculation into culture. Reddit threads became trading floors. And memes became market signals. For better or worse, the lines between finance, entertainment, and rebellion blurred forever. In the years that followed, the financial world changed its rules. Brokerages increased collateral requirements, market makers tightened controls, and short sellers became more cautious for a while. But new forms of speculation rose in GameStops: shadow, crypto, NFTs, meme coins. The same story, different battlefield. Once again, small investors believed they could beat the system, and once again, many were left holding the bag. The GameStop frenzy wasn't an isolated event, it was a symptom. A sign of a generation losing faith in traditional finance. A rebellion powered by technology, emotion, and the promise of fairness. It wasn't just about profit. It was about power. For decades, Wall Street controlled the narrative. The little guy always lost. But suddenly for 1 week the internet flipped the script. The same memes that once mocked the system became weapons against it. For a brief, electric moment, the financial world felt democratic, chaotic, yes but human. And maybe that's why it scared Wall Street so much. Look around today. The same patterns repeat. Influencers promise overnight riches. Communities rally around underdog investments. And platforms claim to empower the people until things get too real. From crypto crashes to TikTok investing, trends the GameStop saga was the blueprint. Technology made finance accessible, but it also made it emotional. And emotions move markets faster than reason ever could. So what are the lessons here? First, markets aren't fair, but they're not invincible. Collective action can change the game, even if only for a moment. Second, emotion is the most dangerous investment strategy. Greed and revenge can be just as destructive as corruption. And third, the system adapts faster than the rebellion. Every time the crowd finds a loophole, the institutions rewrite the rules. The GameStop story is not over. It's evolved. Now, it lives in crypto markets, meme coins, and digital hype cycles. The same emotions, the same patterns, but with faster technology and higher stakes. And somewhere out there, a new roaring kitty is already posting their next big idea. The internet never forgets, and it never stops fighting back. But the question remains, when the next frenzy comes, will it end any differently? The GameStop frenzy was a mirror reflecting both the power and the madness of our digital age. A story of hope, greed, and rebellion, told through memes, message boards, and money. It showed that finance isn't just about numbers. It's about people and the belief that we can change the rules, even when the odds are impossible. This is Shadows of History. Subscribe for more stories that expose the truth behind the world's most extraordinary financial events. Because history doesn't repeat, it reloads.